lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you would like to join this discussion right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Quantum Eraser, UK Truth, Slick James Johnson, Paul, Flat and Earth, Ebon Kim, Chocolate Sane, Arwin, Anon Moto, and 10th Man. Good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Bonsoir.
Hello.
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 Hello. We were into a good conversation with Brenda, but when she left, it was then brought to my attention that I hadn't actually started the live show, so unless I'm going mad, and I tried to and something went wrong. So if there's 3 intros, that's just me going nuts.
I had to step away for a minute, so I missed the conclusion of Tommy versus Brenda.
Oh yeah, where did Tommy go?
He's not here, right? Not anymore.
I don't know. In between the two shows, I was explaining to John what the score was, because obviously towards the end of the last after show, we had a gender discussion. I use my words carefully, which towards the end, Brenda got the upper hand as she got the vernacular and better than us. She's obviously transgender, so she's she's going to be in the know in terms of the correct terminology better than I and better than anybody on the panel, which was pretty much clear towards the end of that. But it was a side note discussion that came about on account of the fact that Brenda decides to come on the panel and then assert that I'm not a flat earther, actually believe in a globe, and that I literally do find offensive. It is offensive to call me a fundy zealot. That's the way I hear it. It's like, no, how dare you? But there we go. Just so the audience is clear, you can pick up that on the after show. If you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley channel, then this will all come clear tomorrow on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, which is when this full show will go out. Anyway, should we do a bit of housekeeping as we are live? Anybody object? No?
Nope.
No. Any signs of curvature? Earth curvature specifically?
Not in my experience.
None that I could see.
Obstruction.
Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
None that I could feel.
Can you add Adam Meakin to the call, John? Right,
Say that one more time.
Can you add Adam Meakin to the Skype? The panel's full. It's because 10th
Skype
Man's
call?
got a black screen, so I didn't realise we hadn't got a gap in the panel.
Yeah, I can add them.
No, it's okay. Hey, Nathan, I'll drop out.
No. Don't everyone drop. Oh no, half the panel's gone. It's okay. Someone else has dropped. It's okay. Don't worry. Right, you can either join on the panel or Quantum Eraser will add you to the Skype call. Adam, either way.
He's here.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Did you have? You said you got 2 secs. Does that mean you're in a hurry? If not, I'll carry on housekeeping.
Do housekeeping. I'd like to say no a couple of times.
Okay. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No. None.
Oh, no there?
Nope.
Aberration.
Shall I let that slide?
Now, curvature is an aberration. Arwin, come on, man.
That's a good question. Do you see curvature as an aberration? They've hijacked perspective and called it curvature. They've hijacked relative density and attributed this force of gravity to it. So I don't know.
Arwen's
I listen to
hijacking everything and call it aberration. Yes.
No. That's not how it works. No.
I know, Arwen. I'm
And what
playing.
makes it an aberration is all the extra phenomena that even support the suggestion.
Well, I never felt or saw gravity when mass is supposed to attract mass, and now that they've changed it to bending of time-space, I still don't see it or feel it.
But it has to start with the assumption that there is a force present, and that's the thing that basically can't be proven.
Yeah, if you remove all aspects of relative density in a vacuum chamber and then push something into disequilibrium and drop it. Anyone got a tumbleweed sound effect?
What?
Yeah,
Was
this
that a
is
question?
invigorating discussion. We already did a gravity presentation. I've done about 55 of them, but there was a gravity presentation not done 2 weeks ago, so it's all hogwash. Next.
Well, this goes out on Friday on Nathan Oakley channel, Nathan Oakley 1980, the main channel. I'm not sure how many people are watching now on Nathan Oakley, but might as well plug Ballbusters, eh?
Hey.
So Ballbusters will be on, I think it's 7 PM UK time, 2 PM Eastern. Is that right, John?
Hey, let's go with 2 PM Central Time this time.
Okay, 2 PM Central, whatever time that is in the UK. and yeah, so we're going to be talking about the, how shall I phrase this, particle wave duality. Would that be a fair description at this stage?
Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take the quantum mechanics presentation that I did a few months ago, and we're going to do that in 2 parts because there's so many topics in there, and we're going to give people a chance to discuss them. So the first couple topics will be an introduction, and then the main points will be the wave particle duality nonsense, and then the last part will be emphasizing the 2 ontological primitives that are ironically inside the question that we're going to ask. So it's going to be a good show. So hope everyone gets to make it.
And hopefully there'll be less technical issues. So last time, for the first time, was going to open up the panel towards the end of the show. It just didn't work. The Hangouts have slightly changed. And from sorry to go off on a sequitur, we will come back onto the housekeeping, I promise. But I think Ranty pointed out to me that they've changed the way the script works in the tab at the top when you first open the Hangout, or paste it in your own computer, so that if you now share your screen and try and use that key, which is the one I was posting that didn't work, you can't get into the Hangout. Which, and I'll give all credit to Ranty, was like, do you think that could be actually them changing it so that if you display your key by accident during a live stream, people can't just jump in and pawn bomb you? I was like, well, it clearly doesn't work anymore. You've got to actually go into the little man and press the share button to get a link. Shout out to Awaken Narrative for the super chat. Obviously, an observably flat. I completely agree. Thank you for your support. So yeah, it might be a solution to that, but it means that, to come back to the point, people will be able to join at the end of these presentations now. We'll put them in a little holding pen. It'll be a bit more contained than these debates get. And then, you know, when appropriate, we'll open up the mic on that particular holding pen and say, right, hopefully you've argued amongst yourselves enough to come up with 1 or 2 coherent questions that are relevant to the actual subject. We shall see. But hopefully that'll go well. It'll be technically the first time on Saturday. So tune in to Ballbusters on Saturday. But yeah, so let's move on with the housekeeping, unless anybody's got anything to add to that. No, we'll also open the panel to the question that was asked last week, but there was no opportunity for anyone to join and answer it, so that'll also be on the table, just so I can add that. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Well, maybe at the center of presupposed spherical Earth, but in the regular world, I don't think so.
Nope. No evidence.
Any evidence of the distance to the Sun?
There is no distance to the Sun.
Oh, Slick, man. You're going to invoke the Slick. You know you're going to do that, Arwen. Don't
Hello.
poke the bear.
Hello. How are you doing, Arwen?
Get him, Slick!
Now, Arwen, You made this declaration. Could you expand on that for us, please?
No.
That was
No
It's
further
It's
questions.
hilarious.
No
I
spoon.
know.
No further
I
questions.
expect you no further questions.
Right, so you are going to add something to it.
Yeah,
A
I
little
am
bit of
answering
poisoning
right
the
now.
well after the fact. I love it, Arwin.
Cultural reference to the Matrix, there is no spoon.
Matrix,
And which
you
is
say?
also about the Matrix is a lot about mental conceptualization of what is perceived. So it is relevant
Simulacras.
in a conceptual, psychological way.
I've got to
It's
hand it
must-
to you,
We have a
Arwin.
light.
I've got to hand it to you.
We
Right,
have-
that is actually a very good answer.
Thank you.
We have a light in the sky. I don't know how far it is.
Okay, I think that's a good opportunity. Good answer, Arwin. I'm impressed. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm not impressed at all because you're still making a declaration, and I'm trying to figure out how are you able to do that.
Well, that's my experience.
Just going to descend into farce just to feel it coming.
Yep.
No further
funny.
questions.
Excellent. Any evidence of the R value itself?
No.
No.
Hmm.
What about evidence of a gas pressure being maintained without a container for all those fundamentalist believers in the vacuum of the sky?
Absolutely not.
There's a gradient. There's a gradient. Come on. Gravity
No, but
just
yeah, I was going to say,
very
Arwin, we
softly on the top, and that's enough to keep it all there somehow if you don't think about it.
It's a shame Travis isn't here because I was watching a re-up or just a standard YouTube video rather than a live stream of Owen Benjamin, and probably a little bit late to the party I watched the clips of the Flat Earthers put up from him, but I hadn't really watched him on his channel or any of his live streams, but I have been for the last couple of days. And I went back specifically to one where he was talking about Flat Earth. His wife's in the thumbnail, so you can find it easily. But I noticed that Travis had become a member while he was doing that live stream, so I know Travis has been privy to this conversation also. But he detailed the gas pressure argument probably better than I've heard detailed from any other globehead. And it suggested to me that he's gone in, researched both sides of the argument, and he said he'd spoken to a physicist about it. And you think, oh, well, more power to you. At least you've gone to a good source. And the explanation he was given was that as the energy of the particle itself decreases with the gradient, so you go higher and higher and higher, you get less and less and less gas, and its energy decreases. Therefore, it is less susceptible to the vacuum of the sky, and the force of gravity does the rest. That was the explanation he was given by his physicist friend. And I was like, well, at least that's put into a rhetoric that could be partially swallowed by at least some people, rather than, there's a gradient. You know what I mean? So it seems like when he's gone into it and researched it by way of physicist, he's been given an explanation that at least to a degree he can put to his audience in a way that they can say, oh, well, that kind of sounds like an explanation that makes sense. Now, we on the panel all appreciate, and I'm sure you're all itching over the mute buttons to come off mute and say, yeah, but we can't have gas pressure without a container. In other words, the first question still isn't answered in his explanation, no different to any other globehead straw man, just because it's been given to him by a physicist. The effects of entropy would still take hold. The gas pressure would still want to expand in all directions and fill the available space that it has available to it. In this case, the ever-infinite space that they call the vacuum of the sky. Well, if that was the case, we wouldn't have any gas anymore. It would all dissipate into the vacuum, in spite of this fundy claim that we've got gravity, this very weak force, counteracting the effects of entropy, which absolutely could not be possible, because it would defy the second law of thermodynamics. And there's even citations that John brought up on the last show, on Bullbusters, I should say, where it's specifically laid out that you would not be able to defy entropy with gravity, even if it was a real thing, which it's not.
Exactly.
So, Nathan, are they saying then that gravity is the container?
In essence, yeah, that's what they're
Yes.
basically stating. They're saying gravity
That's their claim.
pulls the energy so that it doesn't escape in all directions exactly as it would. It's just nonsense.
So then we'd have to define what a container is, a solid. Because when we do the actual scientific test, like the one that we see on the YouTube where there's a box and there's a separation in between and one side has gas, the other side is a vacuum. The only way is to lift that separation, right?
Well, not necessarily. What
So,
makes a
what's-
container is a confined space in some way. And a typical
That's what I
way
said.
we know, but hold on, a typical way we know is a physical barrier. But conceptually, there are other possibilities.
This is a
Conceptually.
mathematical
For
saying-
instance,
box, guys.
I'm not
It's
mathematically necessarily, but a
for
loop,
instance, a container is a physical barrier. Period.
not
Thank you.
End of
necessarily.
story.
No,
No,
a looping,
really.
a looping
show
confine
us
would,
a
by
container
the
that's not
limitation
physical.
of its space, be a container.
Show us
as
a
well.
container that's not
Didn't hear the
physical.
first
That's
part.
not
Say
physical.
it again,
We wanna see
Alwyn.
it.
Describe this non-physical container.
Can you
A
hear me?
looping confined
Yeah, we-
space would
Sorry,
be
I
a
just got
container
it. Sorry,
due
Alwyn,
to
sorry.
its spatial limitations.
I'm really
as
sorry
well.
to do this to you, Alwyn. I'm going to get you to do it again because I'm interrupting you. Yes, we can hear you, Adam. We can hear you.
That's right.
Quantum Eraser. It's just, yeah. We will get there. It's just confusing when there's two different hangouts running. So,
Yeah,
sorry,
no
Alwyn.
worries.
Just one more time. Can you tell us about the non-physical container?
Right. Okay. It is conceptual, based on the presupposition.
Oh, that's not
that
going to be any good.
space
Oh, no.
looping-
I can't do that. I want a
Okay,
demonstration
I
at the end.
fully admit that it is conceptual.
Oh, that's no
I
good.
say it is. So what it is that if the space in which we live
I can't
is
do this.
looping,
I can't
and
rumpus
with
the
a
hell out of
specific
Brenda and not
con-
let her get to the end of a sentence and then let you do it. So, okay, lovely Just So story. Hey, Jim Morrison.
Oh, Owen.
hold on.
Let me.
Hold on. Sorry, I know you tried to get in there, Adam. Hey, Jim. How you doing? Can you hear us?
Yeah, you're right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. You're just a bit quiet. Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
All I was going to say, I looked into this as well. Obviously, when I went on the Globebusters show, it was something I'd looked into in terms of how they do try to define a container, and it's, as far as I can see, it's a purely mathematical container, but it's a fluctuating volume, and each individual molecule would have its own container created by the gravity in the mathematical model that they propose to hold the atmosphere on. So it's basically the more energy it's got, the further away it's going to get before the final effects of gravity stop its final entropy into the vacuum of space. That's the pretense in the mathematical model. But like I said, it would necessarily not create, well, it wouldn't allow the creation of a definitive even force barrier, because it would be defined on each individual molecule's individual energy. That makes sense. So one oxygen molecule may make it further than another. That would be the mathematical pretense.
My word.
Shout out to Star West Watson for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed. Afternoon to you too.
I like my looping.
I'm
concept.
sorry, Adam, but
No, that was my understanding of what they purport as to how it holds there. I'm not.
oh, right?
Yeah.
That is the most preposterous thing I've ever friggin' heard. Well, no, that's not the most preposterous thing, but it's pretty close.
That was
Well, from my
that was the best I could understand of it, John, in terms
my-
of trying to go through how, because it's not really well defined. It's just postulated that that's what happens, but it's certainly not given any major calculations or anything. It's literally just that end point.
Molecular
doesn't-
compartmentalization.
Yeah, and they only tend to deal with the molecules which are just hanging about up there with very low energy. They don't talk about any of the molecules that would keep going because their last collision sent them on a course away from the Earth. They don't talk about those high energy molecules and the fact that they might keep going, and because of this lack of molecules up there, not have secondary collisions that return them to Earth. It doesn't seem to account for
What
any
do
of
they
that.
just stay in suspended animation or something? When you say up there, where exactly is up there?
Well, up where the gradient is, or the concentration is lowest. So they tend to be talking about only the energy of the molecules at the highest levels of the atmosphere plane.
You mean somewhere in the vicinity of the thermosphere?
Well, you see how I'm avoiding trying to put any kind of
To get
on a layer.
any inkling of specificity is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you're not getting that. No, I mean, so like I said, and I think most of it in terms of concentrations is even mathematically derived as opposed to measured.
Yeah, that's preposterous. We don't want to deal with any mathematical conjurings here. We're just we started talking about a container and the physical nature of the container. It's like defining there. Unbelievable.
Hey, John, can I ask you a question on this with an example? When we push a beach ball into water, we feel an up force. So would that, in their argument, be the water is the container?
I have no idea. You're gonna have to ask them. I can't get into the cobwebs of Baltard's minds. Sorry.
Well, that would be an equivocation because that happens often. I can just loosely hear something similar in what you're saying, which is that they talk about water when we're talking about gas, and the two are totally different. So there's no bonds in the gas.
Right. What they try to do is because
the molecule.
Hold on a second. What they try to do is conflate the issue because liquids and gases are arbitrarily classified as fluids when everyone and their sister knows that liquids and gases are kind of different things.
But we do the same thing when it comes
it's just
to
a false
relative
equivalence
density.
fallacy.
We put things in water.
Hey, can I make an observation? A liquid can be a container of gas. It's called a bubble.
Yeah, sure.
Profound.
Well,
I just thought I'd throw that out there just for.
Water is liquid, solid, and gas, but it takes a situation to cause that. In the ocean, it's a liquid. In the freezing situation, it's a solid.
That's
and mist or steam applied by heat,
right.
It becomes a gas.
Okay, but they're different states.
Still water.
They're phase transitions, correct?
Right, but it's still water.
Yeah, right. But what we're talking about is liquid water with your beach ball example, right?
Correct. So what's the force pushing up?
Well, yeah, that's fine if you're in a conversation about relative density or gravity as opposed to second law of thermodynamics violation and the vacuum of the sky. So I kind of see what you're saying, but if you do that, when we're talking about how the highly charged gas particles with no bonds would escape because they'd expand in all directions, and then you say, well, how does this, or how can I draw an equivalence with a beach ball and water? It's like, well, you can't. That's the bottom line.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, from my experience and my testing, I never feel gravity pulling me down, but when I do relative density with a beach ball and water, I feel the force pushing up. So I feel the density of two different types of, like water and a beach ball with air. I feel that and can see it, but I can't see the other.
Yeah, here's the problem. Here's the problem with your statement too. You said it goes up. Up is an objective direction. Up, down, left, right, forwards and backwards are not objective directions. That's one big problem, right?
Semantics problem, really.
That's fine.
It's not semantics problem. It's not.
No, I get you.
It's not a semantics issue.
I'm just trying to describe what explains the up force.
Well, you're saying up, and I'm saying that that's not an objective direction.
You're saying that when I'm standing on terra firma with my head being above the water
stop.
I'm pushing down.
So start again with your statement. I'm really sorry to interrupt you. How did your statement start? What you just said, just repeat it. When what occurs?
When I'm standing on terra firma.
Stop. So what have you then done with those first four words?
Explain my position.
Precisely.
Up and down.
Precisely. So relative to you, it will be going in a particular direction. So your starting point is going to be you.
Correct.
Right.
But that's what I said when I tested it and when I experienced. So I'm talking about me.
Yeah, but in terms of direction, it doesn't suddenly arbitrarily mean that all relative direction changes are fixed to that anchor point being
Right.
you. But that's
I can,
why.
I can see to that. I can see to that, but that wasn't the point I'm trying to make. I loved it when you had a show a while back ago when you threw it back and said, "Explain the up force," and they couldn't.
Uppity.
Right. You can. That is it. Once you're engaged in that, it does become semantics, but it's based on the fixing of a reference, and they do it in terms of putting the keys or the feather and the bowling ball out of disequilibrium, and then removing the relative density. But you can equally do it without doing any of that and just fix the starting point to your frame of reference, and then say, well, that's up and that's down, and that's always up and always down. Well, no, only once you fix the reference.
Agreed.
That's how they've hijacked relative density. So it's important that you're wired in the way you are for us to have this conversation.
Well, I think it's relative density, obviously. I'm just trying to have them prove what they're saying, and I haven't seen it. And when we use the up force from my position, I want to hear what that force is that's fighting their invisible force.
Yeah, and that's a valid argument, but what John's trying to achieve is to take you one step back from that. So before you get to that stage, you go, well, let's define terms. What's up? What's down? Well, they're relative terms.
Correct. Well, I thought I situated myself that I was pushing down on water.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
That's the bit I was going to say is the thing. There is no, even if we allow just to explore your statement, I don't see there's an up force. All you've got is, before you interfere with it, the beach ball is displaced outside of the water. It's sat in the medium of the air. The only force that you feel is as a result of an attempt to re-establish the density equilibrium after you're pushing down on it, disturbing the density equilibrium. But unless you put that first downward force on it, you don't generate any force that you're describing as what you feel as an upward. It's just, they're just displaced based on their relative density.
Right, like Paul's Italian dressing, when he shakes it, he displaces it, but then later, left to itself, it finds its equilibrium within the container.
Sure, there is definitely a connection that I can't yet verbalize in terms of the way that the second law of thermodynamics describes the energy running out and the equilibrium that's reached when you describe relative density. But I'm just not eloquent enough to describe the two in a combination that would be useful to the audience to hear. I mean, I'll hopefully get there eventually, or someone will say something that will make it click. But this is a very, very useful conversation because we've flipped between the two. So we're detailing high-energy gas particles escaping and getting the mathematical description from Adam, and then without even trying, we're suddenly describing force disequilibrium within relative density, and we're all using the same single word when we get to a point on it, which is equilibrium. But I can't verbalise the connection yet. Do you see where I'm going? I don't, so I can't verbalise it.
Well, when I have a container of water with dirt in it and it's left untouched for 24 hours, let's say, I see clear water on top and a blackish coloring on the bottom. I put my stick in there and stir it. All of a sudden, all the water gets murky. I come back 24 hours later, the denser stuff goes to the bottom and the less denser stuff is on top.
Yeah, and
that's what I'm saying. It's relative
but then
density,
you got top
not
and
gravity.
bottom, right?
Again?
I'm just saying it's relative density, not gravity.
Yeah, well, gravity doesn't exist. It's like saying it's relative density, not invisible three-toed gnomes, because gravity doesn't exist, not in the sense that it's pushed in academia and in society, right? So
it's caused. I'm sorry, John. It's caused by an aberration.
Thanks. But listen, that I cringe whenever I hear the term gravity because we're so indoctrinated, right? Gravity this, gravity that, gravity, gravity, gravity. We say it without even thinking about it, right? But it doesn't exist. Okay, so try to get that out of your vernacular. I know it's hard. Maybe counseling and electroshock therapy.
Well, for us, it doesn't exist. But when I'm talking to a globetard, I say to him that example of the clear water stirred and becomes murky, and then later it goes down. I said, what caused it to go down? Was it gravity? Why didn't it happen instantaneously? Why did it take a while? Or is it relative density? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying gravity
But it didn't
exists.
go down, did it? So, yeah, if you focus on the stuff at the bottom, that went down. Well, you could equally argue, like I did with Brenda when she picks up keys, but this is a better example. Well, no, what caused all the stuff at the top to go up? It's equally benign.
Bird landing.
Bird landing, yeah. But what caused the force of up, right? All that stuff that went up.
You picking up the keys.
No, but in your swirly bucket full of different materials, right? Well, you've got all the dirt going to the bottom, and maybe you've got like a bit of rubbing alcohol or something in there. Well, that went up, didn't it? It got all mixed in, and it was in amongst the dirt and all swilled up, and then you came back 24 hours, and this magical force of up was applied to the rubbing alcohol.
It's because a less dense material was displaced by the more dense material that fell down. It's displacement.
Yeah, but closer to your mic, and I'll turn you down, Jim, or something, because I can't make out what you're saying.
Sorry, can you hear me now any better?
Not really. I can probably make out what you say, though.
Okay.
He's saying...
I'll try and get a better microphone a different day. Right? But what I'm saying is the less dense material is just displaced by the more dense material. And the more dense material goes down, so the less dense material has to go up.
Yeah. It reaches equilibrium.
That was pretty bad. I don't know if you heard him. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. He's essentially agreeing. He's saying it goes into equilibrium, basically, to summarise what he's saying.
If you can't hear me, I'm going to do this a different day, right? I'm going to come back a different day. I'll see you. Bye.
Thank you for trying, though, Jim. It's just one of those things.
All right, where were we at? Did we make it through the housekeeping yet?
Yeah, we were. I left the last one with being gas pressure without a container quite intentionally because I wanted it to drive a bit of conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have done with housekeeping.
I'm going to have to do one in a second, but can I ask a favour?
Of course you can.
No.
Oh. I only want to pimp. Yeah, this is going out tomorrow night, isn't it? When we had a bit of a mad evening last night, we was chatting with Chris Van Matre and talking about some of his observations that he's made with regards to a secondary object in the sky. And I know Crow's seen it. And we were just chatting for a bit, and the two had never met. We got them together last night, and they're going to come together tomorrow night and give some, hopefully, a series of presentations on what they've observed, and obviously them two just kind of sharing their initial things that they've both spotted together, which appears to be, like I said, well, one's the sun and one is something else, as far as I can see. And both of them have used all the skills to kind of rule out any form of optical effect. Chris has got a lot of stuff with cloud cover and other interesting observations, which really do appear to be showing some other thing the size of it.
Is this like a plug for your show?
Yeah.
It's like an ad. This is like a free ad.
Yeah.
Well, I'll lead you back into it. Hopefully, you'll have some of Chris Van Matry's beautiful imagery put up on the show, won't you, Adam?
We've got that coming, and Crows. That's what they were kind of trying to get together for tomorrow night, just chatting last night. So hopefully, yeah, I mean, I don't know what's to come. I'd say that's kind of right, the rough outline, but
we've got a live audience now, because I know this probably go out at a similar time, but plug it away, man. Tell the audience what channel it is and what time it is and what.
That's going to be on Iron Realm Media's Have No Sphere podcast, which will be going out at 10:30 BST. So I assume that's going to be at 4:30 Eastern time, I think. So yeah, we'll be having on there Chris, Van Matre, and Crow 777. I think Jason's coming as well because it's the release of their film this week as well. So come on over. It starts at 10:30. Should be an interesting one. Like I say, lots of good imagery, hopefully, and conjectures about what the hell's being observed.
Okay, so just to plug it properly again, so it's Iron Realm Media. That's the name of the YouTube channel. It goes out at 10:30 p.m. UK time. Friday night.
Correct.
It'd be Friday the 5th.
That's it. Yep, 5th of April.
Oh, look, how long has this recording been going? So 1 hour 10 minutes of this recording. So I don't know when it would be.
Yeah, but you came on late.
Say again?
I think you came on late, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm thinking about when it goes out on Nathan Oakley 1980. This will be competing, so of course, go and watch someone else's show right now.
Very much.
I tried to dumb that down and just mutter away around it, but thanks, John. No, it's all good. Yeah, definitely go and check out Iron Realm Media. If this is actually running while the re-up's going out on Nathan Oakley, I will even spam the chat, so you can even go straight to it while this is premiering. But no, this is the live bit anyway, so who cares? Yeah, check it out. Go to Iron Realm Media, subscribe if you've not done so already. It is a fantastic channel, very highbrow.
Thanks, just subbed.
Hey, do we want to go over the train wreck of Brenda's little nonsense? Just one real quick. Her natural phenomenon, when she went through the scientific method with her claim.
I'd like to, yeah, just because it was, interesting.
Yeah, real quick. I think I should be still sharing, Nathan.
Yeah, you're up.
Then, John, before you go, Matt, I'm going to say head off because I've got to head off. So cheers, guys. And
Thank you very much. The Adam Meakin.
Later, Adam.
Thank you very much, the Adam Meakin of Iron Realm Media. Subscribe today.
Cheers,
you're
guys.
up, John.
Bye.
All right. If anyone missed it on the last show, I think it was on the first show, after show, but we could provide a little summary here. What she claimed was that the Greeks knew, the Eratosthenes didn't know, but the Greeks knew that the Earth was curved, and their proof was ships going over the horizon. Now, I don't know who this Greek was. Maybe she could provide a citation at some point, but anyway, her natural phenomena observed was ships disappearing over the horizon. Boy, we haven't heard that one before. Then she went on to say that her independent variable, we finally got to the point where the independent variable was distance. So we have the dependent variable, natural phenomena observed, and distance, which is our independent variable. So putting them together into an alternative hypothesis would be distance causes ships to disappear over the horizon, right? So this is nonsensical because distance isn't a viable independent variable. It doesn't cause anything. The non sequitur tautology test, distance causes ships to disappear. That's preposterous because distance doesn't cause anything. And the null was distance does not cause ships to disappear over the horizon. So this is one big booger-eating train wreck. I don't know what to say about this. Should fail 5th grade general science. So that's it.
Well, I came late to the party, but I'll jump in because of all my observations. I'm just going to say it again and again. No human being
what?
Can see with that kind of accuracy at that distance. Nobody can say, oh, now I can see it going over the curve. You can't, it's too far away. It's too small. It's just absolutely insane. Nobody can ever say, I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm getting food. Hold on.
Were your ears burning earlier, Travis? We were talking about you. I noticed that Red Hen Radio had become a member on Owen Benjamin's stream, and so therefore I know you were privy, unless you were paying attention to the chat more than the actual conversation on screen, but he was specifically talking about gas pressure and the gas pressure gradient and the assertion that gravity can hold the limited energy of the higher up particles of gas in the heliocentric model. So I was just intrigued to know your opinion on his way of putting it.
Can you just rephrase it in a shorter sentence real quick? I'm sorry.
What did you think of Owen Benjamin describing the second law of thermodynamics violation that is the vacuum of the sky? If you can remember it. If you can't, don't worry.
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, he talked about surface tension, you know, and what happens when the globe is supposed to be spinning. And from what I can remember, I felt like he was saying exactly what we are in terms of the vacuum of space. But that's about all I can do. Trying to recall right now.
That's probably enough. I mean, we pummeled it anyway, but it's just one of those. It was nice to see it being put across concisely in terms of an actual coherent rendition of their straw man, which is all it really is. But yeah, there we go. Interesting that argument has made its way all the way up to Owen Benjamin. I have so many people using that argument. It's great because I think it's the best heliocentric debunking there is. You can't have gas pressure without a container. You're alleged to live in an open system next to a vacuum. What a load of old nonsense. To me, it's the linchpin argument.
But Nathan, what if you have rectangular looming? Wouldn't that cause...
bit of a poke across the two panelists here. You bite, Arwin, go ahead.
Well, I'll just step in. A lot of the arguments now that I've been hearing from the booger eaters is they think that the Earth in their narrative is a closed system. They don't even they can't differentiate. They don't know where they live. So you got to first explain to them their fairy tale narrative that they actually live in an open system, right? That's what I've been getting a lot of. So take that for what you will. Thanks.
Shout out to Eagle Plane and Anchor for the super chat. Thank you very much for your support. Repeated support. Daily support. Thank you.
It's a rectangular looming system. I think that would describe it all.
He's not taking the bait, I'm afraid, Slick.
He has no choice.
Who's he?
Can't beat a bit of infighting. He's poking Arwin. Arwin's had a poke at Slick. Now Slick's having a poke at Arwin.
What did I miss?
It's not infighting.
Arwin pulls the muffin out of his mouth. What did he...
I was
Nathan, it's not infighting because there is no in between me and him. We're not on any type of same team.
Right.
Vigilante amongst us.
Who, you and Arwigen?
Imagines himself to be some kind of hero good guy, and I'm a snake in the grass. Right, Slick?
I'm glad to hear you finally admit it.
No further questions.
Exactly. Well, wasn't that fun?
I'll go ahead and lighten it up a bit. Listen, I was just cruising around last night, getting ready for bed, and I was just pissy, after a long day when I got a notification on the side, one of the recommended. And it was Jose's channel, right? But it had already concluded. I said, okay, I'll just go over. And I'll tell you what, dude, it's like Comedy Central over there. Unbelievable. It's like a mix of like Keystone Cops and like Jim Carrey and Jeff Bridges of Dumb and Dumber. I mean, these people actually think they're intellectuals, but they're booger eaters, right? It was absolutely... I needed tear-jerking belly laugher resuscitation from it. So if you guys want a good laugh, you're feeling down, just head on over there, man, because I nearly pissed myself. The biggest one, and I'll just share this, the biggest one, somebody came on, and they were talking about that they were atheists for like 33 years or something. But as soon as they realized the earth was flat, that it converted them immediately. And that's a pretty typical story for most people, right? And then all of a sudden, Jose butts in and, he gets the rest of the baltards on the channel, or a whole bunch of them. And he says, well, it happened just the opposite to me. And I'm like, what, wait a second. And he goes on to explain that I guess he didn't come out and say he was an atheist, but he said it happened the opposite, that God left him, or that he didn't believe in religion, which Christianity is a religion anyway, but that he left because when he became a flat earther, because his dad was a pastor. That was his rationale. And all the people on the panel, all the Baltards are saying, boy, that's really unique. That's a real unique take on it, something that we haven't heard before. Yeah, because he's a booger eater. For goodness sakes, people. I don't know. I just wanted to share that. So, like I said, if you need a good laugh, just head on over there because there's plenty of it. Thanks.
As we're slagging off the competition, I went over as well recently, checked him out, offered my support, and there was George Netanyahu and Rumpus, and they're arguing amongst themselves about the Coriolis effect. So they're equivocating. They're using a tyre spinning and having a bullet fired from the tyre straight up, and basically one of them's fighting for one reference frame and one of them's fighting for two reference frames, and then they're kind of agreeing with each other, then disagreeing, and I'm like, it's like a little dance of obfuscation amongst themselves to confuse every single person listening or partaking in the actual hangout.
Right.
It's the Coriolis dance.
It's like, you know, the Keystone Cops were silent, right? But now the Keystone Cops aren't silent anymore, and they meet Elmer Fudd and Mr. Magoo. And it is frigging hilarious. So, I don't know. I guess that's a plug.
I don't know what a Keystone Cop is. What's a Keystone Cop?
The Keystone Cops, they're silent movies back in the 20s or earlier than that do sight gags, right? They're hilarious, but they're silent movies, you know, like Charlie Chaplin and stuff like that.
Are you talking about the other panel members, the ones that just stay silent?
Yeah. No, they don't stay silent on this show. They all jump in all at the same time and stuff. It's ridiculous. There's over talking. You can't get away from that, but it's just a little bit more pronounced over there.
What you're saying is that they are winning the show.
Hey James, how you doing? Can you hear us?
Good. What's going on, Nathan?
Very good to have you. Just turn you up a little bit.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better. Very good to have you.
Yeah, I just had a question for you guys on the God part.
Fire away.
Is there anybody in here that believes in the God of the Bible?
I don't believe
John
I
does.
know. So, yes, you have one right here.
Is that John?
You got another one over here.
What about you,
So you
Nathan?
got John and Paul. Who am I speaking with?
And Matthew
James.
and
Who's speaking here? James? James who?
Yes.
Are you the
Richard.
Predator, James?
Yes.
Ah, okay. What's up, James?
What about you, Nathan? You believe in the God of the Bible?
No.
Well, you don't have to give a big, long explanation, but why?
Well, there's many reasons. If you go to the live show right now, you know, where it's premiering on YouTube, go ahead and hit show more, and then scroll down in the show more. It'll have a creator versus atheism presentation there. I give 4
his
scientific
question was for
evidences
Nathan
why,
as to
among others.
why he doesn't, not for you.
Yeah, just I'm gonna get to something real quick.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I tuned out. There was a follow-up that I didn't pay attention to. That's my bad completely. Sorry. Do you want to say it again if I was supposed to answer something?
Is the reason you don't believe in the Bible, is it because it was written by man?
I know Christians would assert otherwise, but yes.
Now, do you believe there is a creator?
If a gun was put to my head and I had to make a choice out of the two ontological primitives, I would say there was a creator.
All right, now isn't that the same thing you're claiming those of the Bible did?
Say that again?
Wouldn't that be doing the same thing you're claiming those of the Bible did? And they just wrote it?
What?
Like if we started reading about your creator.
That's not what he said. Listen to what he said. Say it again, Nathan.
Which bit? If I had to choose between those two choices, that bit.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between those two ontological primitives, i.e. everything from nothing or everything from a creator, I would say that there was a creator. Would I say it's the God of the Bible? No.
Very concise.
Do you realize his answer, James? So you only have two choices for how we and the universe are here. Right? There's only two. Either nature created us or intelligent agency. That's your only two choices. There isn't a third option.
Wait a minute, I
that's
think there
James's
is a
point.
third option.
What was your point, James? Sorry, just let James carry on because he might have more to his point. Or maybe not.
James!
Was there anything else, James? Or was there a conclusion you wanted to draw from that information, or what?
I think he just wanted to know if he should be a listener. He wanted to see if you're part of his
I
gang.
think he just wanted to have the experience.
That's too
It's just
funny.
non-stop back and he's dropped. I think he'll hopefully come back. He might have just had an internet connection problem. Hopefully we'll, if he does come back, just let him get straight back into his point so it doesn't get completely lost.
Slick said there was a third option, by the way. We need to address that.
Yeah, it's not that it's not really coming from me. It's just that I heard someone say it, and it was just kind of interesting. That's all.
I've got Flat and Earth on the panel. Panel, can you?
It's always been there.
Sorry, it's Flat and Earth's claim. So go ahead, Flat and Earth.
Yeah, that's good. Everything has always been here.
That's a second law of thermodynamics violation.
A creator is a laws of thermodynamics violation.
No, not a creator. You said that it always been here.
Let's get the rules set straight away, one at a time. Give at least 20 seconds to each other, even if there's a gap in between. Come on.
Right. He said that it's always been here. That was his claim. Well, that's a laws of thermodynamics violation.
Is a creator because matter cannot be created nor destroyed.
No. See, the first law of thermodynamics speaks to nature, natural laws. It has no sway on the creator. The ontological primitives are an intelligent agent, creator versus nature. So you're categorically all screwed up.
Right. So nature, but not from a singularity. Everything has always just been here.
No, that's a first and second law of thermodynamics violation.
A creator violates thermodynamics because
here we go again. I just frigging told you, right? That the laws of thermodynamics are natural
hold on.
laws.
We're down to repeating, so let's just not have it repeated and talked over.
Right. What's so hard to understand about this?
Well, just repeat the point. So you're saying what I've got to so far is Earth Flattener is saying that the creator itself is a second law and first law of thermodynamics violation. And you're saying, no, the creator would sit outside of those laws because they only apply to nature and not the creator. That's where we're at.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Exactly.
I'm not asking you, John. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shut up, John.
Earth Flattener, is that correct? We didn't hear you reply.
Yeah. Do you hear me? Hello?
Okay.
Check. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Well, I already dealt with that. Next.
Well, I mean, the creator
sits outside of nature. So how would you know a creator exists if he's outside of nature?
Because of creation itself, the effect.
Which is a violation of the laws of thermodynamics.
It's not. I just told. Here we go again. I'm not repeating it.
No, no,
we
do.
Since you're having a hard time with the laws.
No, this is what happens. Don't. Please repeat it again. Maybe elaborate. Please.
I can't. I'm not repeating it for the third time.
Oh, I've got to do it.
I'll stand with the first 2 times that I said it.
Was that Paul?
We can
was
move
Paul?
on. Oh my God.
Who did I just hear? James.
You just want to eat your cake and eat it too.
Go on, James. You go ahead.
Yeah, he's just saying it's kind of like a computer. A man creates a computer, but he's not subject to what's inside it. He sits outside the computer.
Yeah,
Precisely.
we are not a computer.
It's an analogy. For crying out loud.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's a bad analogy because we're nothing like a computer.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's remove the laws of thermodynamics, and let's just hold on a second, James. Let's remove the laws of thermodynamics for the booger eaters that don't even understand them. Let's move right into quantum mechanics, right? For matter to exist,
wonderful. Yeah,
hold on. Hold on. Panel cackling.
Just stop with your wizardry.
You're a wizard.
My wizardry. That's validated by experiments, son.
You're a snake.
They're not experiments. We've been through this.
They're not experiments.
Hold on. I'd like to just Anon and John. Come on, rest of the panel. We can do this.
They're not experiments. Nuh-uh arguments, huh? Nuh-uh. Great argument. So my point is, based on thousands of experiments, without exception, you don't have matter without a knower first. So let's start invalidating thousands of experiments. Let's take the first one, a delayed choice quantum eraser. So please invalidate it. Thank you.
That's your man. That's worse than Cavendish. That's Cavendish on steroids when it comes to bullshit. Sorry.
Really? Show us. That's just a declaration. So we need some cowbell. I got a fever, and the only cure is cowbell.
Anon's lost his internet connection, John. So maybe this will continue. James, just before Anon dropped, hopefully he'll come back. You were making a point. So you were asking, if I can remember correctly, about the choice of the ontological primitives versus the God of the Bible. Is that right? Did you have a supplementary point you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I was like, for those who say that they don't believe in the Bible because man wrote it, but yet they say that there's a creator that's doing the exact same thing. You're creating your own creator. And I guess my point is like,
not necessarily.
Hold on, Paul.
Yeah, exactly what you're doing.
Sorry, carry on, James.
I mean, we started writing about this creator of yours, then it'd be the same thing. But like when it comes to what I'm getting at is when it comes to like the lie of the globe, right? If there's no one to judge, then what does it matter? Who cares? I guess like
it
if
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
When you say your creator, is that when you say your creator? Now, when I say gun to my head, I would accept that there must be a creator. I'm not anthropomorphizing that into like a guy in your analogy over a computer, although that might well be the case. I simply don't know. But I just want to know what you mean when you say a creator. What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, that's just it. I would have to start asking questions about this creator that's been created.
Well, no, that's an infinite regress. That's an infinite regress. So the end of that road is...
like I guess what I'm getting at, Nathan, is the globe lie, right? Like, if there's no one to judge these liars, what does it matter? So if we're just...
Your point's incoherent.
If we're just humans in the best jungle.
I'm not getting your point. Right? What's your... can you make your claim again? Please make your
If
claim
we're
again,
just
because what you
if we're
said so
just
far is
humans
pretty
in a vast
incoherent.
jungle here. Let me talk, John.
I'm sorry. It's hard because I'm on Skype. There seems like there's breaks, but then you're talking. I can't hear you. I'm not doing it purposely. I'm just trying to find out what your exact claim is. Can you state your claim again clearly? Because what you said before was kind of nonsensical to me.
Hello,
Well,
Thomas. Just before you do,
I believe I can get
can
you
hear
guys to
us?
at least ponder the idea of God of the Bible as truth.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt this discourse. Sorry. I just want to say hello to our new guest. Hi, Thomas. Can you hear us? Hello, Thomas.
I think so. Can you hear me?
Hello. Good to have you.
Hello? Right.
Hello.
I'm here. Thanks.
Pleased to have you.
Is that doubting, Thomas?
I don't know. We'll find that out later. Sorry. Please, James, if you can continue. Thank you. Sorry for all the interruptions.
Yeah, I'm sorry, was you talking to me?
Yeah, you were in the middle of something when I interrupted and said hello to a new guest, and there's a bit of delay between Skype and the Hangouts page, so because of that, we lost your point entirely. So what John's asking is, can you make your claim again, but it just a bit more concise, maybe?
Yeah, I'm just I was trying to prove the God of the Bible, but like if we're just humans in a vast jungle, right? And these liars and killers and murderers, rapists, if there's no one to judge, that they're just trying to be king of the jungle. So there would be absolutely nothing wrong with that if indeed there's no judgment.
Who is the king of the jungle?
Whoever's in control, whoever's got you enslaved.
So the gorilla, like the real jungle where the gorillas are, the king of the jungle, the lion or the gorilla or the elephant?
What are you talking about, man? Mankind has the gorilla in the damn zoo.
Wait, hold on a second, gentlemen. Can he state his first claim again? Let's leave the gorillas out of this. Please state your first claim again. Concisely, please.
Yeah, my first claim is when somebody says they don't believe in the God of the Bible because man wrote it, but yet they say that there's a creator, that's doing the same thing as what they claim.
No, that's non sequitur. That's non sequitur. That doesn't make any sense. There's two questions here, right? First, is there or is there? Oh God, go ahead.
That makes perfect sense.
Just let me know when you're done, James. Okay, for crying out loud.
So let's say somebody says they don't, they believe in a creator, but not the God of the Bible because man wrote it. So if I started asking him questions about his creator and was writing them down, how is that any different?
It's whataboutism.
Yeah, but
how is it any different?
But you did. You asked me what my creator was, and I went, I've got no idea.
Yeah, I'm not going to use you because you kind of kept yourself out by saying if you had to have a gun to your head.
Right.
But I mean, it's the same exact thing.
It's the same exact thing. This is incoherent at best.
One is declaring the God of the Bible is true. One is declaring the creator is true.
Oh, God. I don't know. Maybe somebody else on the panel can translate this. Does anyone understand what he's saying?
I don't know, but I'm going to use that as my opportunity to round out the live show and say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley channel, then Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley, this is where we bid you farewell. A massive thank you for tuning in, smashing the super chat, liking, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff. If you need something to keep you occupied after the debate is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Also, a massive thank you to all of today's live panel for making this debate possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!